host from Mumbai, the city of dreams and Bollywood, and yes, obviously, music also. Well, what is music? Music is something that releases dopamine in your body. It makes you feel good. It also matches your mood when you're sad, or it uplifts your mood. And today, we are celebrating music all over the world. Well, that's not all. Loudest in with Showcase is doing a very special panel on World Music Day. And ladies and gentlemen, our first panel is very special because it's all about women in music, and it's rightly said that ladies first. So we have two panels, and our first panel is about women. So please join me in welcoming these wonderful women, these inspiring women, and these melodious women in music. First up, I want to introduce the CEO of Showcase Events. We have Nani Singh with us. Hi, Nani, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Thank you. All good and happy World Music Day.
Well, thank you so much, and same to you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about women in music, there are some wonderful icons who we've grown up with, the music we've listened to since childhood. And I'm going to introduce somebody who really does not need an introduction because, yes, we're talking about music that has touched our hearts, and she's also sung for children. So I have grown up listening to her music and for all ages. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about noted Indian playback singer Usha Uttup ji. A very warm welcome, Usha ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaskar, namaskaram, sat sri akal, salam alaikum. Absolutely brilliant to be with all of you here, especially on this fantastic day. For me, every day is World Music Day, but today is a special World Music Day. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it is very special and it's wonderful to have you here with us. Next up, we have Sunita Bhuyan, violinist, and well, we're talking about a very exciting instrument which we have definitely seen in Mohabbat. This instrument brings love to you. Hi, Sunita, how are you?
Hi. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Nani, for putting this together and the warm invitation. And always an honor to share the event and the stage with Ushadi. Namaskar, Ushadi. And
hi. Lovely to be with you.
Thank you. And always a pleasure to be with Devapriya, So wait to hear some strains of the flute as we start. And thank you.
Yes, welcome once again. And last but not the least, I'm talking about a music composer as well as a flutist, Devapriya Chatterjee. A very warm welcome.
Thank you so much. And indeed a pleasure and an honor to be with you all. My regards to Ushadi and regards to Sunita ji, Nani ji, all of you. Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to have a wonderful session with these ladies. We're going to talk about music and we're also going to listen to some music. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful session and we're going to have yet another session just in an hour. So, enjoy the first session and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti, for handing this over. And thank you for the wonderful introduction that you've already given. And of course, you do know when there are women together on a panel, time is obviously of no essence at all for us. So I do request the back-end team to nudge us at least 5 minutes before it's end time for us. So yes, thank you so much, Usha Di, Sunita and Devapriya for literally like accepting last minute, but we did want to do something special on World Music Day. And for me, my two pillars are Usha Di and Sunita, and for everything I reach out to them. So thank you so much and for bringing Devapriya into our life. So panelists today don't require any introduction. And, I don't even want to give any introduction because not only does the world know them, but I want them to speak about their lives, their journey. And we're talking about women in music. So here are three stalwarts who've made a name for themselves, who've taken their musical genres across all boundaries. They have stood up to every resistance and it's their passion. They've given music the deserved place. They are music. They only speak music. So all these three actually stand for that and absolutely justified to be on this panel, if I may say so. So I know that Ushadi has great pressure for time. So let's start with Ushadi quickly on this to say, Ushadi, you've been in the industry, in the music industry for like 52 years now.
53.
53. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
miscalculated. So 53 years and you started at Trinkas, if I remember right. And so tell us a little bit about your musical journey, which people don't know of. A lot is already said on Google, but, and also being a woman, standing up on that stage in a nightclub, in a sari, it's not a joke. You set up a new tradition. We want to hear this from you.
Yeah, actually, I started not in Trinkas, but I started in Madras in a little nightclub called Nine Gems. And yes, it was a small little basement nightclub, which was in a theatre complex, which now we call, of course, multiplex. In those days, we used to call it just a theatre complex. And there was Blue Sapphire, Blue Diamond, Sapphire, and Emerald. These were the three theatres. Excuse me. And the last thing was the little nightclub down right in the basement, and it was called Nine Gems. I started off quite by mistake, and actually it wasn't at all planned. And so it's been quite an amazing journey. And when I say amazing journey, I say because I don't make sensational copy, and I don't, what shall I say? I'm not, if I don't make sensational remarks, if you know what I mean. So it's for me a big thing that I get a chance to talk about this because, people are thinking there are so many wonderful things I'll be coming up with, but the most wonderful thing that I would like to come up with is the fact that I come from a very middle class upbringing, and my father was in the police. I'm number 5 in the family. My 2 elder sisters, let me put this on airplane mode. Yeah, my 2 elder sisters, that is Indira and Uma, were the original singing Sami sisters, and I was a very little girl at that time when they were singing, and by the time I started singing, I mean they had already stopped singing. So I come from a very, very musical family, and the influences were all really huge and varied. I mean, I come from listening. I mean, my parents listening to. Badi Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab and M.S. Subbulakshmi and Begum Akhtar and, Dagar Brothers and Kishori Amankar, much later on, of course. And and of course, Cliff Richard and Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald. So, and also I went to a convent school. So the atmosphere was conducive to the final choosing of this, of the kind of songs that I do sing. And I think that is what has, been so different about me. People would have imagined that coming from an Orthodox family like I do, Orthodox and traditional, I would have taken up to some classical music or learned Carnatic classic music or something like that. But frankly, I never learned to know to music, so I don't know anything. Whatever I do know has come to me through experience and my wonderful audiences all over the world. And I think it's without the audience, I'm absolutely zero. Completely. And maybe people used to say before, not anymore, people used to say that I sing to the galleries. And yes, I always said, yes, I do. You are my gallery. I mean, how do you specify what is a gallery? You can only specify by the tickets that they buy. But for me, everybody, whether you're sitting in front or you're sitting in up or at the back or the sides or wherever or on the aisles, I would still say, you are my gallery. So I sing to the gallery. Absolutely. I sing what people love. And so I finally figured out a name for myself or a genre for myself. Everybody used to ask me, so you sing jazz, pop, folk, rock, everything. And when the really big thing happened for me, which was in Calcutta, in Trinkas, when in those days there was no electronic media. So whatever was there was slow, I mean, it was by word of mouth and it was the print media. And maybe that's why I'm still around after 54 years of singing.
Yeah, there was
without
no
a
Facebook,
godfather,
there was no Twitter, right? Absolutely.
Without a godfather or a godmother in the Hindi film industry, I'm still around. So I would say that, the atmosphere was conducive to the kind of music I finally took up. And I realized that since I'm singing so many different kinds of genres of music, what do I really sing? And I used to introspect and figure out what. And then I realized that I'm just a people singer. I sing what people love.
That's your
So,
genre of music.
yes, and
Thank
that's what I think has kept me going, and that's why I'm still around. Because as long as there will be people, there will be people music,
That's
and
it. That's beautifully said. So that is the woman in music. That's
yes,
genuinely the woman in music. Absolutely.
yes,
So Usha ji,
and
tell me, sorry. So when you
no,
were like, when you started out, for example, at the nightclub, etc. So we're talking about like, women being in music and, there have been challenges along the way where you have all kinds of people in a nightclub, etc. So what were the kind of challenges that you saw? Sorry, I'm focusing totally on you just now because I know that you have a tight schedule and you have to leave. So just quickly getting that, and then we'll get one line from Devapriya Sunita, and then
no,
we'll come back.
you can talk to them. I've got till another 15 minutes, no problem.
Okay, so we'll quickly bring them on also, just to quickly tell
Yes.
us a little bit about their journeys, and then
Yes.
we'll come back to you, then a small this thing, and then after that we can exit. So Sunita, over to you. So tell us a little bit about your journey. I know that your guru and your, your ultimate person who taught you the violin you grew up with is your mother. And then how you took that forward because she was a classical artist. She is a classical artist, and how you took that forward. So tell us a little bit about your musical journey and how you pursued it as a woman to stay in the field of violin, because it is a competitive instrument. So, and being played by stalwarts are basically all men. There are very few women who've taken it to that level. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Nani. And after Ushaji's inspirational words, violin was, I didn't choose to learn the violin. I heard it since I was in my mother's womb, and she ensured that she forced me to learn the violin. Reason being, it's a very overwhelming instrument for a child. When you're 7 or 8 years old, it's so difficult to sit down and balance the bow, the posture, the violin, and all instruments are difficult to master. But for a beginner, the violin is extremely overwhelming, maybe even the flute, because the way you need to put the pressure and the breath. So it was very overwhelming for me. And I wanted to go out and play and be with children. But every holiday, every time after class, I had to sit down and learn to play the violin. And then the world of classical music was a long, deep, wide ocean. But she managed to teach me. So whatever I have learned is because of her. And then, of course, Pandit V.G. Jog, our maestro, our gurus, intervention made it even more progressive. And he said that you have to play music that you think you like and you enjoy. And like Ushaji said, you are she told the audience that they are the gallery. So Guruji, being a classical violinist himself, said that you've got to play for the audience, and you've got to ensure that you become a performer so that you break the myth of the violin being only for melancholy or only for, playing classical. And that was a great eye-opening. And then over the years, as I started, becoming, going into the professional world, I realized that a lot of people have these biases about an instrument like the violin. In Assam, especially, they said, Baido, you're a violinist, so you should start the program at 6 o'clock. It's a Bihu program with thousands of people who come in at 9 o'clock to sing and dance with the violin. I said, well, why am I going to play at 6 o'clock? Because there's no one. There's only people who have reserved their seats. No, but it's classical. Then I realized that there has to be a change in the offering. Classical is the base for every kind of music, but I realized I had to align it to different kind of audiences. That's when I forayed into learning Bihu on the violin, which was a first, which was a challenge. But the music music is so universal. The notes are there in Bihu or folk or jazz or Bollywood. And that was an eye-opener for me, for a lot of my musicians, my family, my friends. And I think that gave me an identity that violin is not just for the classes in the auditorium and for classical audiences. Violin is for everyone. It's very much like women. It's World Music Day today, and we are a woman panel. The violin looks elegant. It's highly strung. It can create havoc when it wants. It can make you cry. It can make you swoon. It can make you feel emotional. It can make you dance and rock. So that's the concept of a woman, right? And hence, I'm very happy that because of the challenges of being pushed into the corner, being typecast as a violinist, usually who can't entertain, I think the way that we could put in Bihu together helped me break that myth. And coming to women and violins, I think today in India, we are full of fantastic women One of them is my idol, M. Rajanji, who has taken the violin to a different level, merging both the genres of Hindustani and classical. And then my contemporaries like my friend Kala, Rajanji's daughter Sangeeta, her daughters. I mean, everyone's doing so much more with the violin. And let's not be gender biased. The men who play in Bollywood have also started doing singles. They started doing fusion. They started recording for themselves, and they've started creating an identity for the instrument. I think that's where the change looks extremely positive.
No, and what is very nice, the common factor which Usha Di said and you said is that, you know, music is so vast. So you cannot confine it within, of course, it's important to have a certain certain methodology, but don't restrict it. Allow it to flow, and look what you did, and look what Usha Di did. She created a whole genre of music for herself. You took the violin beyond whatever that the classical, you brought the bihu in. I mean, it's about exploration. That's what music is all about. You can create music out of anything because it is the master in the instrument.
Also, Nani, I would say that it is, it is about making your limitations your strengths, really.
Yes.
Because, if you, like, for example, I wouldn't go in for singing a ghazal or, some classical piece because I don't know anything about it.
Video has gone off.
My video?
Yeah.
My video is on, very much on.
It's just gone off from the screen. Right. You're right here. Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, I'm very much here.
Yeah.
So I feel that, jahan nahi chehna, wahan nahi rehna. I mean, it's just that if you are not meant for that, you have to realize it very soon in your life. And if you know that that's not what you're calling, then there's no point in going into it. Just use it as a strength. Convert it into a strength. And if people think that my voice was my limitation, that, as far as the Hindi film industry is concerned, so be it. Because I wasn't in the playback race at all. I was and I am a complete stage artist. And stage artists don't get a second take. You've got to be your best in that one take. And so you better deliver. If you want to stick on, you better deliver. The only way to do that is to stick at it and believe in what you're doing and not... if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, who is going to believe in you, really? Like she said about the violin, I mean, most people would think that it's only the male dominant. It's not. I mean, if you go deep into the South, you find so many, of course, they call it fiddle in those days. I mean, in the South. But, there is no way that you can say that this belongs only to the men. And as far as I'm concerned, when I came onto the scene singing in a nightclub, it was indeed a woman's world in any case. I mean, except that the musicians who were playing were all men. But, it was the privilege or the prerogative of the so-called Anglo-Indian with their black numbers and, beautiful bodies and thing. And there I came and broke all those myths, looking the way I do and, wearing a sari and, but then I didn't do it for rebellion, if you know what I mean. I didn't do it to make a statement. I did it because I was just the only way I knew was to, what you see is what you get. And there are some things which I've believed in all my life, and I still believe in it, is that the song is always bigger than the singer.
Absolutely. Very strongly. So the instrument is bigger than the artist, the song. So the hero is always the music, the instrument,
of course.
The song. So Devapriya, over to you. Now you tell us a little bit about your journey, also very, very interesting, and how you started. And then, of course, till you came on to, came under the care of Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji. So tell us a little bit about your journey with the flute, and love to hear.
I was also fortunate to be born in a family of musicians. So both my parents are vocalists, and of course, music was always there in the family. And we also grew up singing and listening to our parents teach other students and stuff like that. And we were also learning from Papa. But at a point, I think we were too young at that point of time. But one fine day, Papa just asked me and my sister, we both play the flute together. So he asked us that, Bitya, would you like to play the flute? So we were very young. So we said, yeah, why not? So then the very next day, he took us to Pandit Bholanath Prasanna ji in Allahabad.
Wow.
And it's only after a few years that we started learning and playing that we realized that there were actually no women flautists at all at that point of time. They were like, we didn't have an idol or we didn't have any lady flautist who we looked upon. So, but which was fine. I mean, and as I said, in Allahabad, we belonged to a family of musicians, I mean, vocalists. So there were people who did condemn the idea a bit, you know, ki, especially to Papa, कि आपकी बेटियां हैं, उनको गाना क्यों नहीं सिखाया, इंस्ट्रूमेंट सिखाना था तो सितार क्यों नहीं सिखाया, you know, I think maybe just because it would have looked a little better. I don't know what the idea was.
More glorified.
Oh,
glorified.
Correct.
Maybe they even said that they look okay. Why don't you put them to Kathak dance? I mean, at a point we were learning Kathak dance as well. But anyways, but the good part was that our Guruji didn't raise an eyebrow even for once. You know, when Papa took us to him, he was more than happy. He said, "हाँ, बिल्कुल बेटियां बजाएंगी, बिल्कुल बजाएंगी, मैं उनको सिखाऊंगा." So it started, but though we couldn't learn from him for a very long time. Our family shifted to Bombay. And of course, I mean, Guruji was in Bombay. So, and Guruji also belongs to Allahabad. So then, of course, Papa took us to Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia ji. And same reaction. Guruji was more than happy to have us with him. And he has taught us with so much love, so much attention. And I think it's also the capacity of every student, you know, what you can take from your Guru. So whatever little we are, whatever little we play, Guruji ने हम लोग को बहुत प्यार से सिखाया है, but whatever little we have taken from him, we are just doing our best, what we can.
No, but it's excellent. So both your sisters started as the flute sisters. You all are famous for that, and you've been playing a lot with Guruji as well, right?
Yes, and now it's so nice to see so many girls play the flute.
That's right. There were hardly any earlier. I mean, exactly like you said, there was no ideal you could look up to, because it was the Chaurasia family and the Prasanna family in India.
Correct.
Even today, for that matter, the moment you hear a Chaurasia surname or a Prasanna surname, you just assume कि flute तो बजा ही लेंगे, और तो सभी कुछ है ये flute तो बजा ही लेंगे.
And I'm fortunate to be connected to both. I mean, Prasanna is Bhola Guruji's and Guruji, of course.
Correct. So, but tell me one thing, Devapriya, you had parents who were vocalists.
Yeah.
And so how is it that, of course, I mean, like you said, that you just tried the flute because you were asked to try it, but how come you pursued the flute then instead of getting back into vocal?
At a point, we were learning both, but I think it just so happened that after we finished our studies and graduation and all that stuff, then somehow I think just the flute took the priority and that stayed with us. I think we also got more inclined to the flute. And to an extent, again, me and my sister also differ a little bit in this, because many people believe that playing the flute affects your vocal cords. So to me,
But I've always heard. So I was going to come to that. That's what I've always heard. Yeah.
So to me, it did, in the sense, of course, even now if I sing, I would sing in tune, but it has affected my range. But at the same time, I think because if I would have maybe continued the riyaz for both, maybe things would have been different. But at a point, I stopped vocal and I just did flute. So I don't know. But Didi says it doesn't really matter. So maybe, maybe it's just if I would have done both,
How beautiful, huh, Nani, to have two ladies on the panel. I mean, a flautist and a violinist, absolutely marvelous.
Isn't it? And then there's you. So it's like a complete panel. And you know what I really like about the three of you, what is most common is that you all have stood against all odds and created a space for yourselves. And you've created a niche. It's like, it's away from the conventional, and yet it's conventional. And you've given priority to the art form or the music or the instrument, which is, I mean, that is the guru. At the end of the day, that is the guru, and everybody else follows that. So I think it's really, really nice. And I know we definitely, World Music Day, we're not going to close anything without...
Nani, if I may interrupt you here, just, I know you're moving on to the next theme, is that just a little, one thing I thought I'll bring to the table here is that no matter someone like Usha ji did her kind of music with the sari, breaking a myth, Devapriya doing the flute. I've moved into being a folk and fusion violinist, but I would like to give a message to the younger generation, to people who want to learn music, that all of this was possible because all of us had the training in classical deep down. So
Yes.
we'll have to, if anyone wants to experiment with their instrument, their craft, their voice, the most essential thing is that the deep depth on training of classical music cannot compromise for the quality of music. So whether you do jazz, folk, pop, dance, sing with your instrument or your voice, there has to be a long, extended period of training. Till I was 25 years old, I didn't even play a Bhupen Hazarika song. That was how strict my mother was. And Bihu I played when I was 40, even when I crossed 40. So that classical training is so important. And I think today's youngsters are not very excited to learn and are not so as patient. So just my little two-penny bit here.
No, this is a very important thing what you said. However, I have to say that whatever I know about Usha Di, for example, and then she told us at the beginning as well, she had no formal classical training.
No, nothing.
But you know what the important point is, of course, classical bass allows you to explore a lot more.
Oh,
If you have a
yes. But
classical
you know
bass-
something, Nani, I'd like to say to everybody, who's listening,
Hmm.
if you are, or if you have an opportunity to learn, that is the best thing.
Yes,
But if you don't have it and you've got a song to sing, just sing it.
sing it. Yeah.
And I think it's
Beautifully said, yeah.
very important to really, really, everybody doesn't have the opportunity to learn, but that is the basis. And I have absolutely no regrets. The one regret, not regret, the sadness is that I never learned notation or sight reading. If I had learned sight reading, it would have helped me in my career and in picking up new songs. But what I have learned through experience and through communication with my audiences,
This is the biggest.
there's absolutely nothing that can. So, as she said, with your classical training and with the experience that you have with the audiences, this is the best way. Let me just quickly do you a song.
Yes, Didi, I just saw 11:30.
Yes, I must leave.
And you've given a very powerful message for the youngsters coming in, because that would have been my next thing, that let's hear what is it that you want to leave behind for the women in music, leaving a message behind, not just for the women in music, but getting into music, but even the youngsters of today. So I think you've already given a very powerful message. Let's have your song and then we will come back to Sunita.
Yes, actually, this is a song which I probably wouldn't have sung today, but we've lost so many people in music and in our industry and the fraternity. In fact, we've lost Lataji Mangeshkar, we lost Shandhadi in Calcutta and Bengal, Shandha Mukherjee, and we've lost Bapida, the king of disco. And of course,
too many gone.
Of course, the saddest one being the recent one of
KK.
loss of KK. And so it's there's a sadness about the fact that we lost KK too soon, absolutely too soon. Such a fantastic youth icon.
We lost Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma ji. We lost a lot of legendary icons this year, Didi.
Absolutely.
And between our last World Music Day and this World Music Day, we've lost a lot of icons.
A lot of people. And so I would like to sing the song, which is KK's song, actually. And it becomes everybody's song. As I've always said, music is music. Is music. A song is a song is a song. And it doesn't matter who sang it, because I've already told you that the song is much bigger than the singer. This one's for you, KK, and for everybody who's listening. Remember that he had a song for every feeling of romance, whether it was a breakup song, whether you broke up with somebody and you were sad, or if you were happy that you had a lover or you fell in love with somebody, he had a song for that. He had a song for friendship. He had a song for everything. So let me sing this song. I'm sure you will all love it. And if you'd like to join me, just go ahead.
Any guesses for this song?
हम रहे या ना रहे कल याद आएंगे ये पल ये है प्यार के पल चल आ मेरे संग चल चल सोचे क्या छोटी सी है जिंदगी, कल मिल जाए तो होगी खुश नसीबी। हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल, हम रहे या ना रहे कल, कल याद आएंगे ये पल, ये है प्यार के पल। चल आ मेरे संग चल, चल सोचे क्या छोटी सी है जिंदगी, कल मिल जाए तो होगी खुश नसीबी। हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे। शाम का चल ओढ़ के आई, देखो रात सुहानी, लिख दे हम दोनों मिलके अपनी ये प्रेम कहानी। हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे So, on this wonderful World Music Day, let us think of all the people we've lost and how much they contributed to music and to life itself, actually. Such a wonderful family person and youth icon, gone too soon. आने वाली सुबह जाने रंग क्या लाई दीवानी, मेरी चाहत को रख लेगा जैसे कोई निशानी। हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल, हम रहे या ना रहे कल, कल याद आएंगे ये पल, पल ये है प्यार के पल। चल आ मेरे संग चल, चल सोचे क्या छोटी सी है जिंदगी, कल मिल जाए तो होगी खुश नसीबी। हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे
So beautiful.
Thank you, Didi. And this is really, this song has so much essence. And it's exactly what KK is. Hum rahe ya na rahe, yaad aayenge ye pal. And he's gone. He's gone just like that. So that's true for all of us. I think that's one thing that COVID has taught us, that
yes
unpredictability of life. You're standing one moment, you're gone. the
and
next.
it's gone. But what a way for any artist on this
To go.
music day, I would like to say that though the people around were so shocked and so heartbroken, what a way for any
Very much.
artist to go.
Absolutely.
You do a
While
fantastically
performing.
successful concert, and then you're just gone.
Totally. I mean, and on the stage while performing, the next minute you're gone. That's literally, like you said, the ultimate way to die, for an artist. I mean, that's really for anybody for that matter. But
With your boots on.
totally with your boots on. So, Didi, I know you have to leave. So, thank you so much for your time and for being with us and for this most beautiful song. It is so apt in every possible way, not just as a tribute to KK, but even as a tribute
Exactly.
to
It's for
every
everybody.
musician. It's a beautiful composition, the lyrics, everything is so powerful. But of course, KK's voice lent the emotion that was needed for this song. And I think it was absolute justice he did. So
Thank you very much.
Thanks
to each and every one of you in the panel and those of you who are listening to us live. I want to say, yeah, remember that the song is always bigger than the singer, because years and years from now, people will still be singing this song like they sing Aaja Ne Ja, or they sing Koi Yahan Aha Nachi Nachi.
I know.
Whatever song, yeah, it's still.
Why even Ramba Ho and Darling? They are never.
Yes, so many. It's never going to go out. Yeah, actually, there were so many things that I did so want to say, and if there was not a paucity of time, and there was one song which I wanted to say to everybody, that it really doesn't matter the language. It's so important that people love the song itself. And the language doesn't matter as long as people remember the song. There was a song which I'd like to just say a couple of words. Is it okay?
Yeah, please.
And I'm really pushing it.
The team back end, please give us a little extra time. So, yes, Didi. Yeah,
they'll
give.
Okay.
I've already said it. I don't know if they're giving or not.
Okay.
I've announced it.
Yeah, it's a great song. And I'd like for all of you to tell me the inspiration is what in Hindi.
Okay.
This one is in Italian, okay?
Oh
and it's a beautiful song for World Music Day.
Okay.
Lasciatemi cantare con la chitarra in mano, lasciatemi cantare solo l'italiano. Buongiorno Italia, gli spaghetti al dente, un partigiano come presidente, con l'autoradio sempre nella mano destra, canarina sopra la finestra. Buongiorno Italia con i tuoi artisti, con troppa America sui manifesti, con le canzoni, con amore, con il cuore, con Piedone sempre bene sole. Buongiorno Italia, buongiorno Maria, con gli occhi più di malinconia. Buongiorno Dio, lo sai che ci sono anch'io. Lasciatemi cantare con la chitarra in mano, lasciatemi cantare una canzone piano piano, lasciatemi cantare perché ne sono fiero sono italiano, l'italiano vero. So, did you get the song?
Yes, something nasha ye hai ye pyar ka, something like that.
Correct.
Yeah,
नशा है प्यार का नशा है ये बात यार तुम न मानो. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, you guessed it, right?
Yes. I got it actually at that stage. Although I could understand the essence
So
of
you
the
see,
song.
singing it in Italian, and I learned it really well and practiced it really well. I wanted you to know that music, I mean, everybody knows music has no barriers or, of caste, color, creed, language, gender, age, sex, nothing. And
You're
so,
so beautiful.
yes.
Pepta Sola Ushadi. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you,
it.
darling.
Feeling. Music is a
I
feeling.
hope you liked it, yeah? Lasciatemi cantare. And it says, con la mano guitarra, I'm singing with the guitar. And I wish I had a video to show you, but this is straight out of the oven. So I want you to listen to it. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye. And happy, not just World Music Day only for today, but forever. Believe in music. Music is the universal language, and love is surely the key. Love you.
Thank you so much, Didi. Thank you so much for being with us and making it so special on World Music Day. So now let's move on. After all this high energy stuff, so now Sunita and Devapriya. So let's go to Devapriya first. So Devapriya, tell us now, after so much has happened, so much music has already come in. So I think let's move into the musical section. So tell us something about your musical section with and playing under Panditji, and we'd love to hear a small piece from you, and then we will move on to Sunita.
Oh, yeah, as you said, rightly after such a peppy piece. Okay. I would maybe just play a very short piece in Rag Desh. So Rag Desh, yeah, I think it's also to do with the monsoons a little bit in Bombay. So
and it's so with the weather and so with the time and everything. And I think Rag Desh has its own energy in its own way, right?
Yeah.
Strangely
So
so,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
No, strangely so, a lot of our patriotic songs have all been kind of based on Rag Desh, right?
Yeah.
So you were going to say something? Tell us.
No, no, I said I did. I mean, I don't have a tabla player or whatever with me, but just a little bit.
No, no, the flute itself is so powerful. Exactly like we said, it's the music and it's the instrument which is so amazing. So, Devapriya, back to you for 2 minutes first. What is it that one powerful message that you would like to leave behind for not just, like I said, not just the women in music, but all those coming into music? Because the reason why we call this session Women in Music was because these are the women who have made it. Music is a passion, right? It's a feeling, and they have actually in a very exemplary way brought that forward. And so we just want that one powerful message you'd like to leave behind to all those who are into music. What is that one thing?
I think as it was discussed earlier, also, that music is nothing which is gender specific either.
Yeah,
But of course, I think as women, we have a little more challenges in the sense having a family, having kids, etc., etc. But I think none of us can do this all by ourselves or all alone. You need support. You need your family support, your in-law support, whatever, whatever. So, of course, all these things are important. But other than that, of course, you have to be clear, you have to be passionate enough, you have to be, I think, planned enough, disciplined enough to execute things. And it's not just in music, of course. I think it's in any field, whatever field
true.
you want to pursue, you have to give it your 100% and you have to work accordingly. And one thing that I would like to tell, what I feel about the younger generation who are pursuing music, that there is absolutely I mean, it's so much of talent these days with this generation. They are so quick, so fast, so talented. Like listening to these young kids, you think that when did they learn? When did they
Yeah,
practice? I mean, how
true.
can they be performing like this on stage, fearless, literally? So all that thing is good. But the only thing, the little missing factor is, I think, the patience. And the bottom line remains that there are no shortcuts. There are
There
no
aren't.
shortcuts. And yeah, there's nothing which can come instantly to you. Even if it comes, even if you get it, something quick might not last long. So if it has to last long, you have to be a little more patient. You have to give it a little more time. And of course, do justice to the amount of talent that you have. So that's
True,
it.
very well said. Because that's so. I don't know if you're aware, but I deal a lot with the younger talent, and
Yes.
our intent at Showcase has always been to promote them. And we
Yeah.
set up a virtual platform during COVID so that more people got to know about them, at least instead of just
Yes.
sitting at home. But you're so right. This is one thing that I've been repeatedly telling them. I'm no expert in music, but basically, exactly like you said, there is no shortcut. So use this time for your riyas because there is nothing to beat that. So
Yes.
get into performance space for sure. They all want that moment of fame and they all want visibility, but
Yes.
don't compromise on your riyas. You can keep doing whatever else, it'll only get better. But
Correct.
don't focus on that because that is not your end goal and result. That will happen. That will automatically happen. But make your base very strong. If your foundation is strong, rest everything, the building automatically will become powerful.
True. So true. Yeah.
So if you look at Usha Di and that generation, I remember Pandit Jasraj coming on the stage, and nowadays the artists take 1 hour for sound check. I remember going for Panditji's concert and there was no sound check. He just sat and वो सा लगाया और जो उन्होंने शुरू का
Doing
मंत्र
the
बोला.
same thing. Even we keep telling Guruji कि गुरुजी आप थोड़ा अपना माइक चेक कर लीजिए, थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दो. He'll say वो मेरा काम नहीं है, वो साउंड
वो
इंजीनियर का काम है. Let
बिल्कुल
him do his
वो
job.
अपने
I
आप
will do
करेगा.
my job.
वो अपने आप करेगा. वो लोग पहले सा में ही उनका पूरा साउंड चेक हो जाता है. So that is something our generation, the younger generation, needs to learn.
Yes.
I'm amazed when the bands turn around and say we need 2 hours of sound check for what? If you
Yeah.
have confidence on your own talent, you don't need 2 hours of
But
sound.
that's Nani because so many instruments and so many outliers and inlayers are there. So what do you do? Because everyone's trying to create more and more dynamics, more sound. There are 3 guitars and 5 percussions and 3 keyboards. So
No,
you've
I
got to
agree with you.
balance.
I agree with you. So one has to, it's not that I'm against that or I'm complaining. It's not that. The only thing is that, yes, coming from that generation where it didn't even matter. They used to also sit and play and sing with like at least 7 to 8 musicians. But there was never any, I mean, it wasn't like they weren't fussy about it. Sound check is absolutely important. I totally agree with you. But they were not fussy about it. That's what I'm trying to say. But
exactly.
You're right. You're right. Today,
and like Devapriya said, even I've seen our Guruji, I've seen my mother, she would just start. I mean, why do you go 3 hours before a concert? 4 hours, she asked me. She said, I used to go half an hour or 1 hour before. That even the present generation, I saw Anoopji just walks in and starts singing. I said, Anoopji, sound check. वो तो हो जाएगा वो तो
उनका प्रॉब्लम है साउंड वाले का प्रॉब्लम है हाँ so the difference is nothing it's but you're absolutely right today nowadays on the stage performances they're using many more instruments and a lot of them are electronic so when the moment you have electronic and digital instruments you do require more finer touches to be taken care of and the sound can vary etc so it's that bit is fine but yes of course it was a different generation altogether so over to you Sunita so you did say something at that point of time where you emphasized on the importance of Indian classical music as a base but I just want that one punchline exactly like Devapriya gave her message for the generation now that's in music and we understand unless until you're passionate about something, you will never be able to succeed because passion is what will lead to success. And that is where sincerity and integrity will come in. So what is that one? Because I know you're also a corporate trainer, so you would have absolutely something special to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's of course, I mean, because we're talking about music and the craft and the genre, So like Devapriya said, that it's amazing to see how these young children, young people, how perfect and how vivid they are.
Yeah.
So you're the pro of reality show and what it's done to music is fantastic. Lots more talent out in the world. But I think the consequences of reality shows is extremely sad that that parents, judges, reality show owners, television companies, production companies have taken away, snatched and plundered the innocence and the experience of music from children because they've made it so competitive. You don't need to do that to an 8-year-old or a 4-year-old child. So why the competition? My fervent request is that make competition above 18, above 21. Let children enjoy the experience.
Yeah, but
experience of music.
That is a different space altogether. So Sunita, we are almost on the verge of finishing. We've got 4 minutes to go, but definitely we want your piece coming in. So it's your piece. And sorry guys, another 5 minutes maximum we'll finish. Thank you for your patience, back-end team.
So we're talking about World Music Day. So let there be a new spring. Let there be another beautiful year. Let there be love, kindness towards each other and towards nature. So this is the song about nature, which says, let there be spring. Sapai buguli sore harmonia. Oi, kuke kun damari dhare. Ganga Siloni, Rati Pore Pore, Ganga Siloni, Rati Pore Pore, Ganga Siloni, Ganga Siloni, Tihiti Pepare, Mar.
This was lovely. A perfect ending to our session on World Music Day. So thank you so much, ladies. And backend team, we are still 1 minute to go. So quickly, I'll say thank you to the backend team for managing everything so beautifully. And thank you to the showcase team, as always, for stepping in last minute and kind of making this successful. We really want to do something on World Music Day. And thanks to Ruhail, who yesterday nudged me and said, hey, come on, let's do it. So, and thank you, Devapriya and Sunita, for really stepping in last minute. It was like amazing. Thank you so much. And a very happy World Music Day to everyone.
Same here. Thank you, Nani, Showcase, Loudest.in, Exchange for Media, Preeti, and everyone on the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Over to you, Preeti.
Thank you, lovely ladies, for such a wonderful session. We spoke about music, how it impacts us, and journey of your lives of music, and we also sang along to your wonderful music. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next session. But before that, we have a very interesting and a fun-filled message from the chairman and editor-in-chief, BW Business World and founder, Exchange for Media, Dr. Anurag Batra. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Good morning. Life is about harmony. Two things bring harmony to human beings. One is good health, which comes from yoga. It is the World Yoga Day. But we also need good music. Today is also the World Music Day. So I wish all of you a very happy day, World Music Day. Music throughout the pandemic became our companion, became our soulmate. And music soothes frayed nerves, is provided the records which took away us from the maddening day-to-day things. The business of music is growing. Music is being consumed on more digital devices than it was. Music streaming services are continue to grow, and music is becoming a larger and larger part of our life. More and more brands are using music to reach out to millennials and individuals who are consumers of their products and services. The business of music is incomplete without the musicians, without all the stakeholders that make the music ecosystem. Loudest.in for the last 5 years is a website on the business of music, and we've been doing Music Inc. for the last 4 years. The Music Inc. is in August 2022, but today we celebrate the World Music Day by Loudest.in putting together a day of conversations with leaders from the music ecosystem and the music industry. I wish you a harmonious and a meaningful day today. Thank you. God bless you. Enjoy the music, enjoy the musicians, enjoy the conversation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Batra. Yes, music can enhance our mood. It has been our companion during the lockdown. Did you know that while listening to music, if you're solving maths problems, your performance is better by 40%. And whatnot, music is our companion during workouts, while women cooking, and so much more while traveling. We cannot live without music, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next session is decoding the next big pivot for the music industry. For our new viewers, this is Preeti Katpal, your host from Mumbai, and we're celebrating World Music Day, brought to you by Loudest.in, with Showcase, brought to you by Exchange for Media and BW Business World. Well, it's time to welcome our second panel. We have the Prince of Bhangra joining us here. Team, do we have him here? Yes, are we ready to welcome him? All right, let's get ready to welcome our second panel. We're going to talk about decoding the next big pivot for the music industry. First up, we have MD and President, PTC Network. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ravindra Narayan.
Hi, how are you?
Very warm welcome, sir. I hope you are in love with music like all of us. Would you tell me which is your favorite genre of music?
Since I look after Punjabi, so I would say Punjabi is, that's what the beat is right now. That's what is making the world go around. So Punjabi music.
Kya baat hai?
I love all things in music.
All right, yes, We're talking about music and Punjabi music, which makes us dance. I can also see Siddharth here with me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, CEO of Event Crafters, Siddharth Chaturvedi. Hi, Siddharth. How are you?
Very good, Preeti. Happy World Music Day to all of you and everyone. Really delighted to be here today and looking forward to a great engagement.
Well, it's wonderful to have you here. You've also done a lot of events, music-related events, correct?
Yeah, I've been festival producer to many music festivals. So yeah, I've been a fortunate
We're
one.
very excited to listen to the journey and a lot more. Well, before that, we also have composer, music director Shamir Tandon. Has he joined us? All right, and I'm really excited to meet the Prince of Bhangra, Sukhbir. Do we have Sukhbir joining us? Team, can we have them on? All right, so let's get ready for our next session, which will be led once again by the CEO of Showcase Events. Once again, please welcome Nani Singh.
Oops. Sorry. I didn't realize that. Sorry. Hi, Siddharth. Nice to see you here again. And
Hey, always good to see
Hi,
you.
Nani.
and hi, Mr. Narayan. Good to see you again.
Good to see
So,
you.
so thank you, Preeti, and a perfect day to meet up yet again. And I just saw a message saying that I'm moderating the session, so lovely. We are waiting for, I think Sukhbir is joining us from Dubai, and I don't know where Shamir is just now, so I guess he'll join at some stage. But however, because we've got, there's a certain time that's been allocated, so let's get cracking. So, talking about introductions and talking about knowing more about you. So I think best would be if you tell us about yourselves, about your connection and a musical journey, and your what does music mean to you? Because today we're going to be moving on to decoding the next pivot. So, but first let's understand what music means for us. So over to you, Mr. Narayan. Let's hear from you.
Music for me is life. I mean, if there is no music, there's no life. And as they say, the entire world was created out of a beat of the sound of Om, and that's the creation sound. And since we run about 6 Punjabi channels, and 3 of them are music channels, PTC Music, PTC Chakde, and PTC Whole TV. Plus, we have a record label, PTC Records, where we record those who cannot afford to record and make their videos and record music. We help them. We do about 500 or 600 original songs in a year under PTC Records. Then we have a streaming app where we stream all this content. Plus, we have 19 beams going across the world where the world is enjoying the Punjabi music. And I would say the success of Punjabi music has been the Punjabi channels led by PTC and others, Tashan, MH1 and the likes. And Punjabi music, as we know, today rules the world everywhere you go, be it Canada, Australia, Dubai, USA, and faraway places like New Zealand, Belgium, Spain. I've seen packed houses in Spain listening to Malkeet Singh's live show. And so Punjabi music is across the globe. And right now it's the Indian music is known with the Punjabi music. I would say the sound of Punjabi music has made Indian music popular. The other forms of Punjabi music, which are now emerging, the rap, the fusion, the folk pop, and all those new things which are coming in, they are making it more popular amongst the, not just the non-Punjabis, but even the non-Indians, the audiences abroad in US, Canada, UK, Australia, Belgium, Rome, the whole of Europe, I would say. People are listening to Punjabi music, and Punjabi music is conquering the world by its ability to adapt and to merge and to fuse with other forms and to inspire them.
That's right. That's right. You know what you just said, I will just give you my little incident, which was really surprising. Siddharth, this might interest you as well. Is like I was down in Greece for a thalassemia conference, which is like a few years ago, and down in this small place called Thessaloniki. So, you know, you wouldn't even think anybody would understand. But of course, like Greece is like India, you pick up a stone and there's a musician. So there's a lot of rich culture over there, and art and culture and music and all. And so, of course, you know, like every conference has a gala dinner. So in the evening, they had this music, etc. And we had a big delegation from India over there, but people were there from across the world. We were about 1,500 delegates for that conference. So then came the Greeks had put together this musical evening and they came up with their instruments. So there was this big instrument which looked like a dhol. Okay, and beautifully they were playing pretty, I won't say they were our rhythms, but they were slower rhythms and they were playing their rhythms, etc. We had one Surdi in our delegation. So after a while of, listening to their music and the patience, you know how it is, after a few drinks down, the patience was kind of wearing out. He just went and he said, can you hold? And there was, language was a big barrier because they couldn't understand what he was saying. He's saying, can you hold? And the guy said, yeah. He said, sticks. He took the sticks and he started playing the Punjabi dhol. All the people who were sitting were on the floor. All the people. Then they had on the pen drive, they had Gud Nalu Ishq Bitha. They gave it to the sound guy, the DJ. There was no DJ, I mean, the sound guy. They gave it to him to plug it into the laptop and played it. Everybody was on the floor and the song was played in a loop. So all exactly like, reiterating what you just said, it's like Punjabi music has captured the world and a non-Indian audience. But it's the rhythm in the music. The sound is so powerful. And we were all on the floor. I think we probably danced for 2 hours after that. And there was no stopping. So
the innate beauty of the Punjabi music is that it has passion in it.
Yeah.
And that's what moves everyone who listens to the Punjabi music.
Even the softer songs, it's not just about the Gud Naak Ishq Mithai, even Sari Raat Tera Takniya Ra. Like where? Look at the softness in that song and how it all comes around.
Boliyan or tappe, 2 lines tell you the whole story.
Absolutely.
Raat na roki mehndi wale haath jod ke.
Bilkul.
Look at the poetry even.
Bilkul.
Probably the closest to this would be haiku in Japan, but this is amazing stuff and it's doing very well. It's finally got its glory.
Absolutely.
Punjabi music, and similarly the Indian music riding on the Punjabi wave is getting its glory now.
Bilkul, absolutely. I totally
and I'm
agree with
so glad that in our lifetime we are seeing musicians making a career out of it, making money out of music. Perennially, if you've seen from the olden times, the classical music, the folk music, they would live in penury. I mean, masters would be on their deathbed where nobody is able to look after them. And look at the music stars now. They're driving the Ferraris and the Audis.
And in style.
And they're getting 40 lakhs a show, 25 lakhs a show.
Sure.
So that's a brilliant thing which has happened. That musicians can actually make a living out of music.
A profession out of it, yeah.
Yes.
Earlier it was a passion and then one just kind of dived into it. Look at Ustad Bismillah Khan Sahib,
Yes.
You get goosebumps when you see what he has done with the Shehnai and then look at the way he went in that one little stubby hole on that one bed. I mean, he was alone when he died, not a person and nothing to, there's no palace that he went in. So I agree with you. In that respect, yes, I think at least.
Similar is the story of Mehndi Hasan, Idu Sharif, all these people.
Totally.
Nobody knew
what happened and when they went. And they're all Padma Shris and Padma Vibhushans and, very true. That is really true. So Siddharth, you've been working so closely with music for so many years. And so how do you see this trend changing with music and musicians?
Nani, it's been a long journey. It started, I mean, of course, music has always been there, but I'm talking about the whole evolution and the whole, I'll say a revolution, which we are seeing today, in music, is thanks to a lot of stuff which happened in the early 90s. A lot of credit goes to MTV coming in India, Channel V at that point of time, starting music videos and stuff. India got into this thing of, there are music videos available to watch apart from those movie songs. So, the whole of course, Bollywood has been predominantly dominating the music scene in our country. I'm talking about popular music per se. And but this whole evolution of independent artists coming in and a lot of new music happening in the early 90s and 2000, actually we saw, pandemic has been a big boost to a whole independent music scene in our country. And it has evolved and revolutionized like nobody's business. $1.2 billion is an guesstimated figure of what independent music has made during the pandemic. 500 million users consuming music today over internet. Such, I mean, thanks to Geos of the world of getting, the whole music streaming business is actually the next pivot, which we should be talking about, which is revolutionizing the entire industry. And yeah, I mean, you could be anyone. You could be singing anything, and the divide of genres, the divide of the whole legacy of wherever you're coming from has broken big time. Where today, if you have it in you, if you can write like nice lyrics, if you can have some great tune, if you can have some great poetry or anything or any expression which could be musical, I think we are living in, I mean, time has come that golden age of music in India has arrived, and it's going to be big time now because the global giants are here. You have the Spotify's and YouTube Music. They are really I mean, there's a whole war going on in terms of digital, sphere.
Distribution. Yeah, absolutely.
We've been blessed with the number game. We have 1.2 billion people. We have the consumers, which is one of the largest. 2027, we will cross China. So we will be the largest consumer economy. Imagine, and I mean, there's immense scope. I mean, even the streaming piece, you see, right now, the premium segment, whoever is subscribing to premium is around 1% odd. This will increase phenomenally because you will start choosing. You want to go ad free. You want to download your music. Eventually this will all help the musicians get the revenue. Eventually this will, and this whole thing of streaming is bringing a whole lot of transparency. In terms of who is consuming what, who's actually listening to your music, and somewhere I feel it's one of the best times to be musicians in the country, and next 5 years is going to be I mean, this is going to be a very different economy altogether. The music
economy, yeah.
Absolutely.
Things have taken up. The pandemic has definitely helped, especially the independent artists, because I think during the pandemic itself, the social media was always a support system earlier, but social media has taken off because that was our only resource, right? That's the only thing that everybody went to as so that was the only path forward. And I think where so many YouTube stars have come up, and the other good thing, I mean, that you must have noticed as well is that earlier, like we used to say, okay, the artists go to a studio, they record a song, the voices get auto-tuned, and they're kind of melodined and all that kind of stuff. But when you're performing on social media, there's no melodyning and auto-tuning. So it is what you are. And I think that has helped create some very good artists. So people have actually spent time practicing, rehearsing so that they could sing better on their Instagrams and on their YouTubes, and then put out songs. They learned how to create music at home. They learned how to digitize their content and put it out. And I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, the pandemic has helped us decode our next step forward.
Mostly thanks to not much Bollywood coming in that duration. Yes. Also. And
there was no option. Yeah, Bollywood couldn't do anything.
If you had to hear new music, it was coming out of independent artists.
Yeah.
The Spotify's Radar India, that particular streaming channel has been viewed so much, and there are thousands and thousands of musicians which have come up big because of that. And there's a whole, and it's easy, like you just record and you just you're out there. Tomorrow you're just releasing your music at the digital platform. So it's become so easy because going through publishing and recording labels was always a tedious affair, and
it's a process
happening that you're chosen one or you're not. So that, again, the whole independence, it's a real independent scene happening right now, and I'm so glad that we are living in this time that today any musician who has it in him can become a star tomorrow. I mean,
And nobody was going the path of covers. If you notice, it
Correct.
wasn't that you just had to sing a Chap Tilak just to become a famous person. It wasn't that. They were singing their own song. In fact, Hangama, I remember when Shamini was working on this project, and they came up with this thing of independent musicians to promote them, and they set up that app. They tied up with Big FM, and I often make it a point to hear that program because it is independent artists, and they've actually managed to get them a platform on the radio. So, it's like a natural thing. People are going to listen to it. And so I feel the radio channels too kind of need to give us space for independent musicians and not just play, only Bollywood stuff. As much as I totally respect Bollywood, I have nothing against Bollywood, of course.
No, you see the change there also in radio channels also. People are doing
They are
indie,
coming in. Yeah.
indie things. People are, see, this is going to become mainstream like nobody's business. I'm telling you, 5 years down the line, everyone will be, the bigger stars themselves will say, there are so many bigger stars which are claiming that, oh, I'm an independent musician. I'm an independent.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
That's the
They
cool
They
thing
started saying that.
I'll
Yeah.
give you strange data that 50% of the music which is now playing on PDC Music Channel is created by individual artists. They are
Amazing.
See? Look at
individual
that.
artists. And the biggest success story, I'll say this is the golden era. I completely agree with Siddharth because the artists learned that they don't need the big studios, all the musicians sitting together
Correct.
and then making music. Now I can do my audio at my home studio, send the track to the music director, who will then get a guitarist from maybe London, and he'll get a flautist from Spain or tabla player from Jalandhar, and then they will collaborate, send their own tracks, and it will all be mixed. And now suddenly you're sitting at home, and here you have a brilliantly mixed track. I did this experiment at home. My wife is a singer, so she would record her audio. Then the flautist was in Jalandhar, the tabla player was in Mohali, and the guitar, my son plays guitar, he was in Oxford. And then he was mixing the sound in London there and sending the track back, on which we were then creating the music video, and then the song was
And it
released.
was out. And everybody was saying that everybody's been together and you have it.
Suddenly you don't need an AR manager to notice you. You don't need to go out and give your samples or plead with people to record them or release them or spend your own money and create stuff. And if you don't have money, then you are actually selling something. And in the past, this used to happen that you're doing some job, and in the free time, you're creating some sort of music.
Yeah, as a
trying to-
hobby. As a
hobby. Now,
By the
suddenly
way-
you can reach millions. You're creating music at home, collaborating with the best of the talent, creating those tracks, creating those videos, and suddenly they're out there. The mushroom cloud, I would say, of the music that burst during Corona is now engulfing everyone. And suddenly the opportunities are there, and people are getting noticed. Careers are being made. People are making living out of creating music on their own, which was unheard of earlier.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
So
And that's
international
what-
collaborations, exactly like you said. It was fantastic because I know so many artists. There's a bass guitarist here and she's collaborating with a flautist somewhere else. There's another singer here. She's collaborating with a rapper across the world. So,
Yes.
and then at the end of the day, they're putting together a video and they're presenting. You would actually think they're standing together in the same
Absolutely.
studio and doing it. But so that is where I think digital technology has kind of really taken off. All this would not have happened. Honestly, the way I look at it, none of this would have happened, at least for a while, just the way it has taken off. So,
Because the minds opened up. This
Yes.
it can be made like this.
If
Yeah.
we didn't have cheap internet available in our country, this was not
this
possible.
was not possible.
And
Cheap
now with 5G coming in and all that, you will see this going in a very different direction. This whole thing of issues which we saw in live jamming virtually,
Yeah.
the whole lag and whole issue.
Yeah.
This will also get sorted out on 5G. You will see real live collaborations happening virtually.
Absolutely.
And this is going to change. And like I said, I'm very bullish about where we are and where this industry is today. And so much young talent coming in and expressing themselves and making a career out of themselves. It's amazing. And they're making global careers. Look at Prateek Kuhad. He's made a global
Exactly.
career. He's a global star today. He's
All of them.
I mean, I'm just naming a
Yeah,
example.
exactly.
Coming out of small town like Jaipur and he's becoming a global icon. He's doing 100% sold out shows in US, UK, wherever he's performing. So I mean, and these kind of musicians, or you used to only hear in music festivals earlier, right?
Correct.
I mean, used to be dedicated music festivals, which are
Yeah.
very cool, and that's where you had to sample them. But things have changed today. Things have completely changed today. They have a fan following, like in a big way, and yeah, I mean, it's great times to be.
No, in fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, we started a series called In Conversation. And that time, exactly like you said, the internet wasn't that great. So there were challenges trying to get the artists to perform live, etc. So we did try to record. They would specially record for them because we never believed in going the YouTube way, because that everybody has access to. But while you're talking, also internet used to be a challenge. But we did this show with Nathuji, Nathulal Solanki from Pushkar, and he is the Nagara maestro, right? Now the difference over here was that he, the people, when we put that show out, when we were doing the live show, the people who joined, his audience, his students, his fan following, Brazil, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and we were like, oh my God, and we had decided, we had
superstar.
yeah, and we had this absolutely, we had decided to ticket those In Conversations, particularly because we wanted to see a dedicated audience. We didn't want random, of course. I mean, especially when you're interviewing people where there's the genre of the music is the hero, right? So we kept a minuscule figure of 100 rupees for Indians, and I think it was whatever, some few euros and dollars for the international joinees. And people bought tickets like how, in fact, we had more international revenue than Indian revenue for that particular show. And I think his show had the largest audience. And it was amazing. So this is just trying to say the reach. Now, Nathuji is from a small town of Pushkar. But look at this global following. And he's a simple man, very simple man, humble to the core, but look at his global following. So it's exactly the same thing, how technology has helped. And by the way, now back to, we are decoding the next pivot, right? So that is where technology has come in, helping the younger artists grow. What about these older ones? They never had any technology. When Nathuji became a spread globally, there was no technology. There was no social media that took him there, right? So obviously there were people behind, his fan following, his lovers who took him out. So that's what
even the experienced artists are evolving. They understand the whole thing that this is what they have to adapt to, and it's good. And I feel as experienced musicians you are more evolved, as much evolved to take newer things, and and I'm sure a lot of them are releasing digital music, streaming in various platforms. So it's great. It's great to
That's true.
music
That's true. So, Mr. Narayan, back to you. So tell us about, like, you've obviously been receiving a lot of music from younger artists. In fact, I would really be happy if you can share your email ID online, because, I remember some artists reached out at that point of time. They're Bengali artists and they're artists from all over the country. Well, so they were experimenting with Punjabi music and they actually created some very good Punjabi music. So at that point of time, I thought, it would be ideal to connect them with you, where not only could you give them a platform for visibility, but you could also guide them on, what was like, whether they were doing it right, or whether, what were the kind of things that they could bring into their music. And because I thought the fact that a Bengali artist is experimenting with Punjabi music, that itself I thought was a win-win.
No, it is an interesting thing. My video director and music director here in PTC is an Assamese guy.
Oh, so see, now look at this.
And we create fantastic Punjabi music with them. And the key for us, the biggest happiness that you got was people who could not afford it, but were immensely talented. Now we are at 3:30, we are doing a concert with such artists who earlier were unknown. Now they are coming into our studios, we're recording them, we're making them perform live to the worldwide audience. And when it is broadcast, it goes to US, it goes to Canada, it goes to Australia, the Middle East, Europe, it goes everywhere. And suddenly they have following all over the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And once they become popular here, that's when they start getting shows.
Yeah.
The money for an artist is not in making music and releasing it online or portals or streaming platform. The money for them is shows. The most troubled time for them was pandemic, when there were no shows happening. But that's when they learned the technique, the technology. They adapted, they created music. Now the music is coming out. Now they're getting the shows, and the world has opened up. Suddenly, artists like Anu Amanat or suddenly like G Saab and all, they're getting shows in Canada. They're getting shows in Europe.
That's because of the visibility that you're giving them.
Not only us, the visibility right now is in their own hands.
Yeah,
they can
that's
create
what-
the music, create
True.
their video, put it on social media and other platforms, and then the world is watching them. I mean, we are a medium, we are one of the mediums, and we give them a platform worldwide. That we have a record label, we have a recording company, we have a publishing company, we have a television channel, we have Facebook, YouTube, and an audio platform. So it's a one-stop shop for them. So once they come here, they put their stuff here, and there's no money involved for them. We do it. For me, it's software which is coming to me. For them, it's their break, the much needed break, which
Absolutely.
they would never get without money. So we have our own studios, equipment, we shoot them, record them, create it, and then we put them out in the world. Then it's up to their talent. If they're good,
Correct.
they'll get popular, they'll make good money, they will get shows, and then we feel good about it. Corby, Ranjit Bawa, Nimrat Khera, Tanish Kaur, all these artists are those who came to our music contest, Voice of Punjab,
Mhm.
Voice of Punjab Chota Champ or the Voice of Punjab Seniors, and they emerged out of it, and today they're big stars.
Yeah.
And that's
Look
when
how
you
they
are
took-
successful,
got
that
picked.
you could give them their launch platform.
Yeah,
An
correct.
artist only needs a launch platform now, and then their job is done. If they're talented, they're sure to get noticed and they'll get work. And
But,
that's what
you
is
know,
happening.
The most important word is what you just said is talented. Talented and how good they are with their music. See, it's like not just that, I've done like 1 year of Riyaz, etc., and I'm ready to get onto the stage. You will last for this much and no more. So I think at the bottom line is that also that they need to be well practiced, because they'll become like a one song wonder then. That's it. After that, they won't grow. So that's very important for their growth as well. So exactly like we said, digitally you're decoding the next pivot, but also for your own growth, you need to be consistent with your practice. You need to be consistent with your music. You need to be sincere about it.
Yeah.
Passion is one part, but you need to be sincere about it. Otherwise, you'll end up getting a break. You'll end up doing those 1 or 2 songs, and then after that, what? If you have to grow, you have to be sincere about it. Yes, absolutely. So, may I request you to share like your email ID or some kind of contact information which we can share over here with the listeners, because I know there are many who would like to reach out to you. So at least they know that fine, we don't have to go through Showcase, or we don't have to go through Loudest. We have Mr. Narayan directly up for us, and we can reach out to him. So
It's very simple. RN, R for Russia and for Nagpur at ptcnetwork.com.
okay,
Send an email.
PTC.
I'm also available on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can direct message me anywhere. And I'm
Perfect.
going to put it to my relevant teams, and then they take over.
Perfect. Super. So I hope everybody's heard the email ID. I'm going to repeat that is rn@ptcnetwork.com. So it's really not difficult, and they are on all the social media handles as well. So you can reach them directly. In fact, that's what everybody's doing nowadays. Is I've reached out to so many artists like that, pinging them on Instagram and finding them through Facebook and saying, hey, I need to talk to you. So it's interesting, and everybody responds. I mean, that's the good part now. I think that way, social media has made the world closer, has brought the world closer as well. So Siddharth, onto you. Like you've also been promoting a lot of young talent, etc. And so to tell us a little bit about your experience, and how do you think, do you see, other than the fact that, of course, there is a growth industry and there is Spotify's and all these that have come into the country, their distribution channels, their publishing houses, their labels, everything is there. But I want to hear about from you about the talent that is there. So, I'm not saying that they're going to evaluate or judge any talent, but do you feel that there is sincerity? Do you feel there's potential for growth because they have to focus? It's not just about, the other thing I want you guys to bring up very importantly is that right now, the way I'm noticing is that every artist, the moment they release a song, the first thing they do is, I got 1 million likes. How important is that? Isn't it more important to give a good quality product? Your likes will automatically happen. So I want you guys to talk about this, because this really gets my goat. It
Let
irritates me.
let me give you an insight.
Yeah.
The trouble is, like the television industry, which is in the midst of this TRP game,
Yes.
the music industry has also got stuck in the game of likes
And
reach,
views.
and views. The YouTube actually did this, and everybody now, it's become the Bible. How many views on YouTube?
Yeah.
And we've seen the biggest of the names buying likes or buying
Yes.
numbers
I know
to
people who've
project that
done
they are
that.
popular.
Yeah, I know they've done that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the quality took a backseat because they knew, bana de yaar, like itne likes to le lene na maine shows mein.
You know, 25,000, 50,000
हाँ.
like chahiye. I mean, I'm shocked, yeah. Look,
But-
it's a whole industry in itself.
No. It is millions these days.
It's not
How many likes in million in a day? You know, that's where the whole thing is.
And
It was thousands, then it became million, and now it's how many 100 million or 500 million?
it's a complete revenue industry over there, separate revenue industry altogether, isn't it?
They don't realize that that amount of money they could have put into their music or putting together a
Exactly.
show,
Yeah.
that amount is going to just platforms who are minting money on this psychology that they need to have views. Because when I go for a show, the man will not know my name. He will see how many views does he have? How many followers does he have? And unfortunately, that's a bad thing that's happening. And slowly, I'm sure, very slowly, the filtration will happen. The real talent will stand out. Then the likes and numbers and views
Won't matter.
will not matter. The
But you
talent
know,
will matter.
Mr.
It happens. See,
I have a-
once there is
I have a-
mushrooming,
I have a
once there is
little-
mushrooming, it happens.
I have a little contrarian view to this. I feel, you know, this is a part and parcel of the whole game. See, and trust me, it works for some people to see how many million views someone or how many views someone has got to kind of, hear to what's trending, that trending thing. So if it works, it works. I mean, who are we to debate on it, on the quality and all that, which is okay. If your one has to go on the morality of you buying those things, and that's another debate, because one should feel that it should be organic, but hey, people are doing this. But like I said, I mean, it's going to be, you'll always get the goods and the bads coming together of any kind of I will rather focus on the goods, and I mean it's so much better for anyone to get noticed today for being a musician. And again, the following and the likes would always be accordingly, right? I mean, if you are a Badshah fan, you are a Badshah fan, right? I mean, you whatever he brings out tomorrow, anything which he brings out tomorrow would be watched by millions. I mean, and you can't really, and it's debatable, right? The quality of music is very debatable. It might not sound good to you. It might sound great.
Exactly. That's a subjective thing.
So I feel these are part and parcel of the whole digital phenomena, and I think it's that the audience eventually will mature, and would understand that okay, this is, and now people know, right? People know that, oh, this guy also buys likes, and it's all there. I mean, till the time the music doesn't groove you. I mean, bottom line, till the time the music doesn't groove you and doesn't move you, it doesn't it doesn't matter, whatever the other person is doing. But when it does, right? Somewhere it touches you and somewhere it moves you, and it could be anything. And again, we are not. I don't think so. We are here to judge the quality of music.
No. But you know what? It's also become like in the current day time, it's become like a chicken and egg situation. When you propose an artist to a corporate, when they ask you, the first thing they go and see is how many views does this person have, or how many likes. And then they tell me, they said, oh, this guy is not that graded. Yeah. So how do you grade a person? I mean, look at the following this guy has. He said he can't sing a sa straight. This person can sing up till like dhani. Mauka to do usko. They said, yeah, but uska matlab visibility nahi hai. So that is, so that is it. So like I'm saying, that there is nothing wrong and there's nothing right. Like, I mean, we are nobody to judge, and nobody's anybody to judge anyways. It's not, because there isn't a wrong and there isn't a right. You've got to survive. It's about survival, and it's about bringing forward the best foot. But yes, I have to say that exactly like Mr. Narayan said, a lot of good music has unfortunately gotten a backseat because everything is coming out and being judged on the basis of likes and views, where we feel that the audience needs to be and the people need to be a little bit more liberal and more exploratory when it comes to this, because I think the other artists need to be given a chance. Just because
Plus, the flip side is there is a lot of money power comes in, and
Yeah.
we all know what is happening in Punjabi music industry.
Yeah.
With the money power comes in the gangsters and the shows.
Oh.
Iska show gira do, uska show lagwa do, iske
we
cancel
just
kara
saw,
do.
we've just
That's what
seen
is
so
happening.
much that's
So
happening in the Punjabi
that's
industry.
the saddest aspect of creating music.
Yeah.
That the music is now being engulfed in the money power. Those who have money will rule the roost, and that's not.
It's not, that's not music. That's not music. Music is way beyond all this, and unfortunately, this I won't even say is a commercial. This is the evil part that's like kind of exploiting the such a pure and such a pious art form. And I think that's really not acceptable. So
What happens is, I'll tell you what happens to the poor musician when they go to an agent. He says, "Itna view nahi aayega to tumko show nahi milega. You won't get shows if you don't get views." He says, "I don't have money." Then he says, "I will invest, but sign a contract. 80% of your money is going to come to me for 3 years. You'll get only 20%." And that's what is happening to the industry today. The agents walk off with that 80% because they're investing that money into buying likes, not into creating music, not into helping the artist to create. Artist has to spend to create music. After that, he goes to an agent, "Boss, make it popular, take it to people." That's when they invest. That's when the money power comes in. That's when they have to recoup their investment. And that's when this underworld, gangsters and all this comes in. And
a
that's
whole new industry got kind of set up. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a sad part. So I just want to ask Ojasvi, Preeti, and Tushar, Ruhail, are Shamir and Sukhbir joining, or should we continue? Because I mean, there is 2-3 more things that I'm thinking of, and so one of you can just help us with that. Ojasvi, Preeti. Okay, since I don't know whether they're also.
It would have been great if Sukhbir would have been here. He would have tales to tell you of the journey that he's been.
That's what I would have loved to hear. And even Shamir has been there ever since till today, and he has actually seen the evolution of the industry. So for decoding the next pivot, he would have been absolutely the apt person to comment. So Preeti, sorry you joined in for a second, but are the other two joining in? Are the two panelists joining in? Would you know?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes. Are the other two panelists joining in?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Do we have Sukhbir joining?
No, they are not. They're not here right now. But if you can just check backstage.
Hi, Nanima. Actually, they are having a bad network. So B sir is in Dubai, so he's having a very bad network there, so he won't be joining today.
Okay, and is Shamir is also in Dubai or he's in Bombay?
Yeah, he's not available.
Okay, so
let's continue with this movie.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. So back to us, guys. So tell me one more thing now. We come back to, now let's pick up the actual subject right now, right? Decoding the next pivot. So given where we are today, we are in 2022, where the music industry has, given the COVID, and we've all heard the pros and the cons of COVID, etc. We've all been doing it for the last 2 years and talking about it and the challenges that we face. But of course, given the positives that it's made us, it's brought in technology and taken us to the next space altogether. And from the time when we started to today, it's only growing. Every day we are blasted with something new. Like I've reached a point when I say, I've learned the TEC, I can't do anymore. Like at my age, I'm done. I'm exhausted now. But every day there's a new thing coming in. And so where do you see the industry? I won't even say in the next 5 years or 10 years, that's too far a time with the way things have been evolving and changing. Where do you see the industry in the next 1 year? We are now in 2022, June 2022. Where do you see it by the next World Music Day, June 2023? First, over to Mr. Narayan.
See, the biggest change that I see is it's the death of music companies, music labels, and maybe music television channels. The artist has the power in their own hands now. They can create music, they can publish music, they can distribute music, and they can earn their own money directly. There are middlemen which are going to go away. The streaming platforms, the digital platforms, they'll be in the forefront even the FM radios, the television channels, where there was appointment viewing. You come at a certain time to listen. Whosoever is available at that time is the star. Is gone. Now I'm searching for my kind of music, the kind of mood I'm in, the kind of artist I'm into. I'll search for them. Ghana.com, YouTube Music, be it any platform, streaming platform, Spotify. There are 170 such platforms. I'll go to my platform. I'll get my music there. So I know that if I'm an artist, I'm a good artist, and I can spend a little bit on distributing to make my reach wider. I'll get the audience. Once I have the audience, that audience will have a web effect. It will get me more audience, and my network will evolve. I will start getting queries. I will start getting shows, and I will start getting money. So the biggest revolution in the next 1 year you will see is every artist will have their own music label, their own publishing, their own copyright, their own making money, their own booking paraphernalia, and platforms like Facebook paid events will be in the forefront, where I can sell my own tickets. I don't even need an agent. On my Facebook page, I will just make tickets available, appointment viewing, 6 o'clock on Saturday. I have a concert on. Guys, you want to see me? Go on, come on. You want to learn music from me? You want to collaborate with me? We're all available digitally. So the international collaborations, individual artists making music on their own, that will be the key thing for the future. And the shows will be smaller as well as bigger. Both kind of shows are going to work now for artists. A smaller audience in a let's say amphitheater setting, a bigger audience in a arena setting, everything is going to work. You create music, it'll work. And most of all, the artists are going to get shows. The moment you start getting shows, you're making money. The industry will strive. They will thrive.
That is true. Siddharth, what is your thought on this?
I kind of agree with Ravindra, and I feel it is evolving by hours, Nani. The thing is really evolving by hours, and I think in next 1 year, you never know. You might see a Despacito coming out of India.
Yeah.
You might see a global, a single coming out of India, which becomes like a big thing. And I must tell you, you will see huge amount of regional music resurging back. The South Indian music. Look at what South Indian movies are doing.
Fantastic.
So the whole regional content which includes regional music is something to look forward to, and their time has come. Their time has arrived. In terms of they've always struggled in this whole scenario vis-a-vis Bollywood. So that aspect would be something to watch out for. Like it was rightly mentioned by all of us before, that platform is no more a struggle anymore. Platform is no more a struggle anymore. Tomorrow, if you made something nice, it just goes viral. It's all heard. And by the way, we're not even discussing and talking about metaverse.
Oh yes, that was my next thing I was going to come to. Yeah.
What will happen there? The whole collaboration of amazing visuals and animations, and your avatar singing, they're out there for you.
With your NFTs out there. That's what I want you guys to talk about. That was my next thing I was coming to.
That's another thing. It happened, and which will, and there will be a whole sync of metaverse with live telecast, and if a sporting event, you have some artists coming and performing, and you have some so I mean, this is going to be crazy from here on. And
VR concerts in any case started earlier.
Yes, it's going to be a reality within months in India.
Absolutely, because with the headsets available, and now the variety of headsets, earlier it was Oculus only, and you just had that one piece, but now with of course cardboard was never really the best quality that you could get, but I mean it is there. So it's not that there was a restriction to it or limitation because you did not have the Oculus device, but basically the web VR has gone beyond being device specific. So it's again bringing the industry here. So I want to hear about the NFTs.
We've had great success with the VR. We are now broadcasting 100% live from Golden Temple. The Gurbani is sung there.
That's right.
It's available in virtual reality, 360 degrees. And we thought there'll be a few hundred people who'll see it. It's thousands of people watching it on video and on our app and on YouTube. So it's broadcast real time, live, 360-degree VR. So after that success, we thought, let's do a concert. So we did a virtual concert where one artist was performing from Amritsar, one was performing from Mohali, one from Delhi. Now we are converging it into VR. The artist performing in a virtual reality kind of settings, and the audience will be in a virtual arena where your mind and body will say that you are sitting in
that same space,
ticketed seat where you bought the place, and you're seeing it from there.
Yeah. So that's
going to be the next big thing. Yeah,
that's where it's headed.
Yes.
Siddharth, your experience on the VR part?
When the pandemic hit us, remember the game Fortnite was launched. Fortnite was, of course, the biggest rage amidst the youth, and billions of kids were hooked to it. And Travis Scott launched his track at that moment, that game. When the game was launched, and we're going towards that. The entire e-gaming industry is really moving in a big speed again. That's another.
It went viral. Gaming industry went crazy totally.
So gaming and music has a huge scope of integrating. I beg to differ there. Future might not be just about live shows. Future is all about integration and finding your platforms and multi-platforms. It's going to be, and even when you stream today, and when you have so many subscribers or whatever, you get that kind of revenue coming from digital platforms. So even while the artist is sitting at home and not doing shows, he's making his money today. If he has that kind of followership, if he's getting those kind of subscribers and people are listening to him. So Nani, the whole game is going to be changed. Yes, there's nothing replacing live industry. Will always be there. It's not that it's going anywhere. This will only thrive further. The whole live experiences are going to even thrive further because of this whole multi-dimensional availability of content, which becomes great for exposures, and which becomes great for you seeing out there. So it's going to be phenomenal times ahead. And
like somebody asked me, they said,
whoever is kind of going in that direction, is working on the direction, will have the first movers advantage. Would always will be able to create that cult which follows them, which is very different. And youth today is consuming entertainment in a lot different way. And
what we used to do. Correct. Absolutely. No, and also I get asked this question very often that, since you guys specialize in virtual events, and are they here to stay? And I say, absolutely. First of all, they're not going anywhere. And now everything is hybrid because of the advantage we have seen with hybrid. Live has its own energy. Nothing can replace live. That we're not even contesting. But yes, definitely bringing in the virtual aspect to the live, creating a hybrid environment, the outreach is so much better. Time is saved. Economically, it's more viable. Like we've been doing conferences, for example, or we've got artists and speakers joining in from across the world. You're not spending that much time for a half-an-hour session or for a half-an-hour performance to come across the globe and then go back and look at the kind of money involved. So of course, live has, I always maintain that it has its own energy, but the outreach is definitely better with technology. So tell me one thing. Of course, I'm zero when it comes to understanding NFTs and blockchain and the Bitcoins, etc. Right? I just know these words. I have no idea what they mean. So I'd be delighted to have you all, and I'm sure in the audience today, there are many like me who are struggling trying to understand, but we want to keep up with the NFTs. So what exactly is it, and what does it mean for the music industry? Because basically that is where it's all headed. So what does it mean for an artist, and how should they reach out to the NFT space to put out their music so that it gets bought? And what does it mean when somebody buys your music or buys your song? what does it mean for the artist? So Siddharth, why don't you take this first?
Yeah, so like I said, the metaverse is taking over, and I feel people will have their own avatars doing a whole lot of stuff in that space. Fans are buying moments. Fans are buying. What all? I mean, fans are buying anything which is coming out there in NFT, and you'll have. And like I said about Fortnite, now Fortnite's success has been its online concerts. It has a huge success rate. They've had J Balvin, they have Ariana Grande playing, they've had many artists, they have Lil Nas performing, they've had huge amount of success which they saw in these online concerts which have happened in a game format. So so there's going to be a collaboration of whole lot of animation and music coming together. And that's something which I feel is the future. And I feel Indian industry should really look at. I've not seen anyone working on that in India, very frankly, till now.
No, there are a few artists that have put up their music as an NFT. But I just want to understand, maybe like Mr. Narayan, you can help us with this. So if an artist puts up their music, yes,
there is a practical art. If I'm an artist, how does it benefit me? Now, to create music, I need funding. Either I'll invest, I'll borrow, I'll go to a label or ask someone to fund. I need to shoot a 30 lakh exotic video, and I need to record collaborating with the best of the international talent. It'll cost me 10 lakh rupees. So overall, I need about 40 odd lakh rupees to create a masterpiece, which will be no less than anybody. Now, I don't have the money. What I can do is I will appeal to people that I'm going to create this, and you can own a portion of it. So they fund you. They'll give you money. Yes, go ahead. I'm your fan. I'm putting in this money to own this thing that you're creating. And when it gets released, the royalties or the income that comes from it from across the globe, you also get a part of it. So if I invested 1 rupee, my 1 rupee might get me 1.5 rupees back, because forever, as long as the asset will remain digitally active in the metaverse or in the digital platforms, will keep on earning money, and the money will keep on accruing to me, not just to the artist, but to everybody else who invested in that artist.
Okay, I
so
get
that's
it.
the practical aspect of it, that I can, it's like investing in a company and then in the shares of that company and then making money from it.
Get it.
Plus, I'm the top star artist and I've created something and I'm now putting it in the market that, hey, you can also co-own this creation. You can have rights, you can have sync rights of it, you can have, I would say, dubbing rights or language rights of music I've created, and they're available to you. You pay in my digital currency and you can have this right and record. Now I have to record a cover version. I need to go and ask for permissions. I don't know where to go and ask. Now I can take it digitally from the artist directly. I can invest in the product also. I co-own it also. So a whole lot of investments, whole lot of earnings, whole lot of collaborations, and whole lot of owning the creation comes into the play right now.
So the artist doesn't really lose all sole rights to the song that they have created. They just get co-owners. So they are just more stakeholders to that particular song. And then as a result of which, everybody tends to gain in terms of revenue.
As an artist, if I don't have money, why would I mind that people are investing in me, and they are making money also from it? I'm making my money. They're making their money.
Correct. So which is a fair deal. So as somebody who can advise this to the artist, maybe it's a good idea to put up your songs as NFTs, right? Or your music out as music videos as NFTs.
Yes.
Good idea.
More than they selling song, I think that's I mean it's the moment which they sell. It's something which a lot of merchandise and a lot of virtual merchandise and a lot of artwork around you and a lot of
costumes,
which is going well and which is really going crazy money. I mean, you never would have imagined what your one poster can fetch you when someone is buying it at the NFT space. So that's the area wherein you're seeing a whole lot of new fans coming in, and you of course have to be backed with a great it's a collaborative time with other art forms actually. If you're a musician, you have to have a great graphic designer teaming you. Then you have to have a great animation artist backing you. And you guys can do wonders as a team together. And that's one area of collaboration which should really evolve in times to come.
That's wonderful. So I think we've ended up giving some very, very good, important takeaways for the musicians and artists of today, and not just the artists of today, even of the yesteryears, to just kind of pick themselves up and get into the digital space, because eventually that is the path forward. And true to our session where we said decoding the next pivot, which is really, it's all heading into that direction. So of course, not foregoing the fact that live space will always still have its prominence, but yes, now it will be complemented a lot with the digital space, because that will help a lot more to grow. So thank you very much, gentlemen. I know that we were just the three of us, but we managed to pull off a session for 1 hour. I don't know if we bored our audiences or not, but I enjoyed every moment of it, because I think it was a lot of learning for me in all of this. So thank you, Mr. Narayan, and thank you, Siddharth, for being with us today. And I hand it over to Preeti.
Thank you, Nani.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for such a wonderful session. Thank you, Nani, for hosting this, for all the questions and
A pleasure.
all the sharing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our lovely audience, I hope you enjoyed this session. We started off with speaking to some lovely women in the industry, and then we had these really powerful people who transformed the music industry, and now we know where we're headed, what's coming up next in the world of music. Today is World Music Day, and there's a lot happening around that I got to know. There are free concerts all around, and this is a day where you should try out different types of music, listen to something new, or make a post on social media about music, about what you like. Let's celebrate this day. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. This is Preeti Katpal, your host. I'm from Mumbai, the city of dreams, and saying goodbye to you. I hope to see you soon. Enjoy World Music Day.